I would like to call to order the special city council meeting. The time is now 4:30 p.m. City Clerk Duarte, will you please take roll?
Yes, Councilmember Frometa is excused. Councilmember Trujillo?
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Alvarez?
Present.
And Mayor Pacheco.
Present. City Clerk Duarte, have we received any written correspondence on closed session items to be read into the record?
We did not, Mayor.
Members of the public wishing to address the city council regarding closed session items may now come forward and form a line. Each speaker will have 4 minutes to address the city council on items listed on the special meeting agenda. You may come forward.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. Lee Squire, City of Brea, District Number 3, 31-year retired finance officer, City of Brea, 1988 to 2019. I'm here to talk about the item interim city manager. One is, first, I'm kind of curious as to why this was not on the agenda 2 days ago. The second thing I'd like to, I guess it's not in here, is that an interim city manager, there's two ways. One would be to bring in an independent contractor, either full-time or on, let's say, 24-hour basis. The other one would be an interim or an acting city manager on a rotational, either on a specified appointment to one of your existing department heads or even on a rotational basis. Because any one of your department heads should be able to be an acting city manager at our time of need. And otherwise, if they're not, this city has underemployed your chief executives of your departments. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers?
Okay, so okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so number 2. Well, actually, number 1, is that the one where someone tried to commit suicide at the jail and then they, you guys didn't help them? Is that the one or is that another one? All right. So number 2, I don't agree with this. I think that the whole process was wrong. Mr. Livas was not given a fair shot. I said when that meeting was happening, I was like, this is not right. His rights were being violated. He didn't have it just seemed wrong. So I don't agree with this whole interim city manager. I especially don't agree with it being right now. Like, why is it that this wasn't on Tuesday? And you guys have this special meeting. People have to rush over here. It's 4:30. The meetings are usually at 6:30. So obviously you're trying to keep this quiet. So it's very concerning. Why is it that you're doing this at, essentially with the equivalent to the dead of night? People are tired right now. People are coming home from work, and yet you're doing it. That's because, of course, as usual, you don't care about the public participation. Not even Mr. Herman is here, and that's kind of really odd. So even he was disenfranchised because you people just hate the idea of democracy, and that's why you're not giving, the public the right time. And I agree with Mr. Lee Squire, Vietnam era veteran. Why is it that the city council doesn't look more deeply at itself? Why is it that he was fired, and even though there was no cause, and then you're trying to have an interim, and no one appreciates that. I think none of the people that was here in December would appreciate that you're trying to do this in the dead of night. So again, what are you trying to hide? Why is it that Mr. Olivas is being let go? And why is he, why, then there's this whole thing about Moreno Valley. And I was like, what, Moreno Valley? But shouldn't he be the city manager? Because he was the government relations or something, community development. So I was all confused, but then it all made sense because, of course, you guys don't want to be transparent. So I think it was totally wrong how you went about with how you got rid of Mr. Livas. It was all very clear. It's horrible that you would, he was an employee, so you shouldn't have done that. When I say, you, the mayor, and Frometa and Ashton breaking the law up there. So that was all wrong. You should just stop. You should start respecting the public and certainly the Brown Act. And the Brown Act does technically allow for this, but just because that's the case doesn't mean that you guys should do this in the dead of night like this. Like, not even Mr. Herman had enough time to show up, I think. So that's just, again, because you don't care. You don't care to actually get feedback. You're going on social media saying, oh, residents, we care, come on by. But obviously it's false because you're trying to do everything you can in your power to limit public participation. Hence, that's the reason why everyone's saying, no, we will not have Pacheco on the State Assembly. So, yeah, no, this is a disgrace.
Everything that I say is true and can be verified, but the first section will not. A few months ago, I was invited to a coffee shop by Councilwoman Catherine Alvarez of the 3rd District. She told me, come over, let's have a talk.
Is this on the, are you talking about a matter on the agenda?
Yes, it will get to that, actually. During that meeting, not only was I recorded, but Ms. Alvarez told me that Mr. Livas, months prior, would be getting fired soon. Yeah, you did. It's on video. She knew this ahead of time, months. How did she know? Who was she talking to? You need to explain that, Ms. Alvarez. You need to explain how you knew that. Gilbert Livas was on his way out. His ass was going to get fired. But then the Republicans stepped in. And by Mario Guerra, Alex Saab, who else was from the Republican Party, Ms. Frometa? All the Republicans stepped in so that he wouldn't get fired, but you would walk out instead with your benefits and whatever comes with retirement. You don't deserve it. You deserve litigation for whatever you did that this council is hiding. Now I'm gonna find out why you're being released sooner or later. I'm just here on public record to say that I asked so that when I tell the 4th District that Ms. Frometa didn't tell him, I have the video recording right here. When I say that the city attorney was not being transparent, here's a recording. When they start the recall for Mr. Trujillo, for all the other reasons, plus this one, I'll be able to point to this moment and say, hey, we asked them to be transparent, and they refused every step of the way. Now, it's not a coincidence when you look at the statistical framework. Why is Sean leaving? Why is Livas leaving? And why is the other city manager leaving within the same time framework, almost within the 6-month framework? I don't know. Is it all related? Is everyone fleeing the scene of the crime? That's a valid question. And we're going to find out. And when we find out, the public's going to find out. And if any of you are covering any of this up, well, we'll follow you guys with whatever civil or legal violation we need to file to make sure that you're all held accountable. But on record, I'm saying that Ms. Catherine Alvarez knew ahead of time. And that means that that information had to have been discussed prior to this initiation or this entire process. Now, speculations among the elites, I'll say speculations, are saying that they want to bring someone from El Monte to perhaps serve as city manager here. Perhaps not. Perhaps someone that's connected to Olmo, which is the current mayor's employer. That's also fair speculation. And a lot of talks, even allegations of recordings between serial meetings between some of the council members and the former mayor. What's his name? Vasquez? His name escapes me right now, but I'll make sure I provide that name next time. Anyone know his name? Anyways, whatever illegal crap you guys are doing, it's only a matter of time. They're leaving because they no longer can stay here. And that doesn't only apply to them, that applies to the corrupt elected officials sitting on those seats. I look forward to seeing all of you serve your day in court.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Seeing no other speakers, City Council is going to recess to a closed session of the City Council under the following authorities. Government Code Section 54956.9D1, conference with legal counsel, pending litigation, Pineda versus City of Downey, Los Angeles Superior Court, case number 19-STCV 21891. Public employee appointment discussion, Government Code Section 54957, title interim city manager. We will now recess to close session. The time is now 4:41 PM. The time is now 5:07 PM. We will now reconvene the special city council meeting. Madam City Attorney, do we have anything to report regarding closed session action?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Item number 1, the City Council gave its legal counsel settlement authority. And item number 2, the City Council discussed the item but took no formal action. And that ends the closed session report.
Thank you. The special city council meeting is now adjourned at 5:07 PM. Meeting adjourned.
Bye.